Dear students, it is the fifth video about the communication barrier, and we are now going to cover the topics semantics and the language barriers. Semantic mean understanding and the language mean that we understand language, we understand most of our communication happens in language. Thereby, a language is an arbitrary relations between the physical world and the perceptual worlds, and semantic is the real sense, the real meanings or real approach or real understanding of something is called semantics. Thereby, one thing may have a different meaning for the other people. Thereby, the semantic and the language barriers are the huge barriers. Especially these happen when some person is not familiar with the official language of the organization and the organization is oblivion to the others, and resultantly the confusion and misunderstanding arises out. There are semantic barriers like this. Language differences between speaker and the listeners. The speaker is speaking Dutch, French, whereas the listener is just understand Arabic or Urdu, and he is not that much. Obviously, the confusion will. Difficulties in understanding unfamiliar accents. It's very important that although people in Pakistan and India or around Asia understand English, but when the native speakers, I mean the Scotlanders and Islanders are speaking, they are not understanding it properly and they are often confused the way they express. An accent is called the specific pronunciation and terms and the words used to signify things. Use of jargons, unfamiliar regional expressions, specialists' observations, slangs, and the technical terminologies. All these things, technical jargons means official words which are used for different functions, but they are not familiar for the other people. Regional expressions, for example, Yankees and hi buddy, hi dude, nice guy, hawks. These words are normally used in English American culture, but they are used in informal manner. You cannot expect to use it for the proper formal communications. All the above can exclude others and lead to misinterpretations or even offensive. You need to speak in direct and clear way to understand. I mean, all the above mentioned attributes can lead you rather in quarrel and misunderstanding. So one must use the language or the words or the symbols according to the understanding or the personal level of the persons. Now see, next one is interpersonal barriers. Interpersonal barriers mean the barriers in the person, psychologically built in. Fine. Low esteem and prejudices can prevent you from forming relationships and connection with the others due to your false perception. Interpersonal barriers. Self-esteem, lower self-esteem, prejudices, and your false perception, badgumani in Urdu, can leave you winning good friends and making progress. Fine. To overcome this, you need to communicate more with others to increase your confidence. Here is the solution, that if you want to get right, you should meet the people, think positively, talk more, communicate, develop your relations, and thus you can overcome and will get strength and remove the weakness. Next, very important barrier to the communication is physiological barriers. Physiological barriers mean physical inability, incapacity, handicappedness. This is called physiological barriers, and of course they are the fundamental ones. For example, mean your eyes, hands, ears, nose, they are the receptors. They take vision, sense, feelings, receive it from the outer world, and they transform them into chemical signals. The signals are received in the mind and there they are analyzed, and the mind is the one who which orders, and your body moves accordingly. Your mouth spits saliva or other chemical and mechanical change happen in your body. But the first thing is that you must be aware. For example, if a blind person can easily be crushed by a car because he is not he cannot watch it. However, the car is buzzing sounds and horns and many things. Fine. Impaired eyesight, hearing problems, illness, and pain can interfere with effective communication in the workplace. And you have seen, especially in students, that students often have the weak eyesight. They are not able to understand, they cannot look and concentrate on the page and other things. So, physical barriers become a permanent hindrance to their learning. And lack of similarities. Lack of similarities means that one can understand the complex things by examples and stories, and by comparing and contrasting different things when you are launching a new idea. But if a person is so closed, so restricted that he has hardly gone out of the world, he is really closed minds, because he won't be able to compare and familiarize the things with his object. This is a barrier. Let's read. To clarify your points, it's common to use examples and stories. However, their impact is reduced if the person doesn't find these relatable. They don't have the same knowledge or the same experiences as you. Also, information is filtered on a personal level using our experience and beliefs. The more similar somebody is to you, the more likely they will view things in the same way. So, speakers with different socioeconomic backgrounds to their listeners must be careful to tailor their speech to their audience. Means every person, if you are talking about stars and everything, every person has to means to sort the information or to channelize information in his own perceptions, because images, sounds, pictures make the pictures in their mind. If something is similar resides in the mind, then the person accept your message, otherwise they leave it, and resultantly ambiguity happens. Ambiguity means so much information, so much discussions, obsessed details, they create ambiguity. Being vague in your explanations and using too many generalizations or proverbs can lead to unclear communication and misunderstanding. Next, status. Well, status is also a problem. Normally in Pakistan, the top management, higher authorities, bureaucrats, they hate to speak to the lower people, and they want that the lower person should be lower person. Normally in army, air force, and bureaucracy, this is the perception, and so is the landlordism at the social level. Hope you have understood the different parts of the spheres of communication barriers, like lack of physiological barriers, lack of similarities, ambiguity, status. Fine. And well, we'll see in the next video the remaining ones. Thank you very much.